Hi guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So in today's Pick a Card reading, we are going to be uncovering things that your spiritual team would like you to know that you are not currently seeing. Now, these could be things that you literally have not noticed at all yet, or it could be things that you have seen, but you are still ignoring them or dismissing them or in resistance to them. So there are 4 groups for you to choose from today, and I have placed a little succulent on top of each pile to help you pick. I'm going to show you each of these up close one by one, and please pick whichever one or ones you feel drawn to the most. Here's option number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. Okay, so as always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number ones! So if you guys chose this green cactus with the cute little pink flower on top, this is going to be your reading about what you are not seeing. So this is everything that we're going to be covering in today's reading. We're going to start off with a little energy check where we look at your current energy as well as the energies that are surrounding you right now. And then we're going to dive into the what you're not seeing part. So we're going to look at a truth that you're not seeing, an opportunity that you're not seeing, as well as a sign that you're not seeing and who this sign is from. And then we will finish off the reading with messages and advice from your spiritual team. So that's our reading for today. Thank you so much for watching. At the beginning of the reading and then again at the very end of the reading, we're going to be pulling cards from the Bloom Oracle deck, and then throughout the reading we're going to be using the Gentle Tarot, and these 2 decks together are the KINO Tarot Spring Bundle, which I've curated in collaboration with Tarot Stack. Every season Tarot Stack and I team up to put together a tarot and oracle deck bundle, and I'm so excited for this one. Spring is my favorite season, and these 2 decks are both nature inspired and they're so beautiful and they look so good together. If you guys haven't heard of Tarot Stack before, they're an online shop that carries a huge selection of indie tarot and oracle decks, so you can browse decks from all different creators all in one place. And Tarot Stack is a very active supporter of the tarot community, with 50% of their profits going towards funding new indie tarot and oracle decks projects. So they help these independent creators realize their projects and get their decks out there into the world, which I'm so grateful for. I've learned of so many cool decks and creators thanks to Tarot Stack. So I'm gonna have this bundle link down below if you guys feel called to it. If there's one deck in particular that you feel drawn to, you can also check out every card in the deck on Tarot Stack's website, and you can also look at my own personal insights on this bundle and these decks and how to use them and everything like that. This is me from the future. I just finished filming your reading, and spoiler alert, it was lovely. But I forgot to mention that you can get 10% off this bundle using the code KINO. So thank you very much, Tarot Stack, for collaborating with me once again. And now let's get into your reading. So we're starting with the Bloom Oracle, and we're going to see group number 1's current energy. What is group number 1's current energy? Group number 1's current energy. We have weeds. Take the time to weed your garden. And we have the number 33. And then we have, wow, reincarnation, the forest floor. These 2 cards together are so freaking cool. So what this seems like to me, group number 1, is that you are likely in a process of decluttering. Oh my gosh, okay, 333 on the camera timer as I'm talking about you decluttering, and also 33 on this card. So it looks like repeating threes is a very important number for this group. If you are not seeing this number yet, look out for it as a sign that you are on the right path, and also as a sign that a big transformation is coming, a positive one, because you seem to be in an energy right now of making room. You are making room for blessings in your life, and so you are decluttering things. You are getting rid of stale energy. You are releasing old versions of you that you no longer resonate with. You could literally be physically decluttering your space, so getting rid of possessions that you don't need anymore or that you don't feel an attachment to anymore, getting rid of clothing that you feel is not really aligned with how you want to express yourself. You could be clearing out your contact list. You could be, for some reason, I want to say decluttering a playlist. Like there's maybe music that you don't really listen to anymore and you're deleting it from your playlist. You could be unfollowing people that you don't resonate with anymore, like decluttering your social life, your schedule. It seems like you're really just, I want to say expelling as well. You're in an energy of expelling and just getting rid of all of that old energy. And I think weeds is a perfect analogy for this, because if you let weeds overgrow, they will start to choke the other plants because their roots grow so big and they take up all of the nutrients. So you may find that there's things hanging onto your energy and things hanging around in your life that are just not only taking up space, but actually preventing you from focusing on and investing in the things you really care about, like sucking energy out of those things. So I think in your current energy, you're realizing what needs to go. And then we have this message of reincarnation, which is so cool because it totally gives a feeling of you transforming and your life transforming and a new version of you emerging. I want to read this weeds card from the guidebook because I feel like this one is really important. Take the time to weed your garden. Does your mind feel like an overgrown garden? Looks like you have some weeding to do. What do you need to let go of? Where can you detox and simplify? Weeds can be habits that don't serve you, toxic people, self-sabotaging thought patterns, even physical clutter around your house. Weeding allows space for the fresh and the new and the beautiful. This card calls you to focus on decluttering your life before pouring your energy into something new. Address the old and the ugly so you can approach life from a place of clarity. Yes, exactly. And with this reincarnation card, it is also, it is also kind of, I'm thinking of the judgment card. Like when I use oracle cards, I often look at the number, and if there's a link with tarot that feels relevant, I like to mention that. And I definitely think that we have some judgment card energy going on for this group. So it looks like you're making space to receive blessings, but also creating room in your life and creating space in your mental energy that you can start really focusing on and moving towards your calling. And for those of you who have felt lost or felt like you don't really know what your calling is, doing this weeding, once you clear away all the weeds, you might see lying underneath is your calling. It's like you have to declutter some things first before you can figure that out. But there's also a feeling of resurrection. So those things in your life, or those passions, that energy that was choked by the weeds, once you remove the weeds, now we can have regrowth of what was once there. So just for an example, let's say there was something you were really, really passionate about, but then your life got filled with all these other responsibilities and things that were eating up your time. And those are the weeds. Once you weed your garden, that passion now has an opportunity to regrow and to resurrect. And I actually think that in this transformation that you're going through, you will actually be reclaiming parts of yourself that you haven't expressed in a long time. So it's not really just about moving forward to a new version, but reclaiming things from the past that you miss or that you want to reintegrate or that you felt like I was, I was more myself back then and I want to get back to that. You're going to get that chance to like go back and take those old traits and passions along the way with you, it's just so beautiful. So this is your energy. Let's get into the tarot and see what are the energies surrounding you. So this will be more like your life, your external circumstances. What are the energies surrounding you? We have the Wheel of Fortune. We love to see this. And we also have the Seven of Cups. Okay, so with the Wheel of Fortune, it's very clear that the universe is working with you. The universe is going to be working in your favor if you are in this decluttering energy. So you're getting divine support in this stage of your life. There is a sort of unpredictable energy with the Wheel of Fortune. If you think about spinning a wheel and you don't know what it's going to land on. So through this process, you might be surprised at, you might be surprised at some of the things you feel like you need to let go of. The more you let go of, the more you realize, oh crap, I have to let go of this too. So I wonder if you're letting go of more than you expected. You also may be surprised at what is still hanging around. You know, when you are cleaning out your home, maybe you're going through a box or something and you're like, oh my God, I still have this? Like, I thought I got rid of this years ago, or like, I haven't seen this in ages. What is this still doing in my house? There may be some things like that when you are clearing out your space. So for example, maybe you are doing a decluttering of limiting beliefs or of baggage that you've been carrying with you. And you're like, damn, I'm still holding on to that. Like, that's still affecting me. I'm still worried about that. I'm still upset by that. Some weeds that you didn't realize were there and that you may have to clear away. And maybe that's one of the things that you are not seeing is like, there's things that are just taking up space, taking energy away from what you really want to do that need to be removed. You could also be clearing out devices, like clearing out a phone or a computer, because there's a lot of junk on it that you don't realize is there. Like maybe one of the things you don't see is that there's more energetic junk or actual junk that needs to be cleared away, that you maybe don't realize is there, or you don't see that there's more you need to let go of than you might realize. I also see with the Seven of Cups that once all of this stuff is cleared away and you can start completely fresh, that might be a little bit overwhelming. This is giving the energy of, for example, someone who left a job because they're like, this job is toxic, or like, this job is not good for me, this job is draining me. And now that they're done that, moving forward, they don't have to go back to the same job. They could do literally any type of job. They could start any type of endeavor now because they're free. And that freedom can sometimes be overwhelming. And I feel like once you clear all of this old energy away, you're going to have so many options in front of you of what you want to do next that you might be like, oh my gosh, like it's just a lot. It's a lot. And I wonder if there's a part of you that wants to avoid that overwhelm, which is maybe causing you to hang around where you are. It's having to make that decision of how to move forward. Once all of this is gone, that could be overwhelming. I see you moving into an energy where you're sort of choosing a new chapter, choosing a new adventure, but it feels like there's so many options and that's overwhelming. But you will also easily be able to weed out these options. A lot of the time with the Seven of Cups, it feels like there are several choices in front of you that the idea of it sounds really nice, but the reality of pursuing it is not so nice. So the more you research each option and look into what it actually entails, you'll be able to say like, oh no, I don't want to do that. So that person who just left their job and is looking for a new one, maybe they have all these ideas of, oh my gosh, that job sounds so cool. That sounds so fun. That sounds so interesting. But then when they actually start looking into what their everyday life would be like and all those kind of practical things, like what the pay is like and those facts, oh, okay, never mind. So there, it might be overwhelming at first, but you will be able to easily weed out, so to speak, those new options. So if this sounds like your current energy and what you're currently going through, then this is your group. So let's get some more cards for you. We're going to get into the details of what you are not seeing, which actually, this could also be something that you're not seeing. There may be certain prospects that you are entertaining, that you feel like you want to move towards, but if you were to look into the reality of what that path entails, you might not want to do it anymore. Something where the idea of it seems much better than the actual reality. So if there's something on your mind of like, oh, moving to that place might be nice, or getting that kind of job might be nice, or being with this person might be nice, that is kind of just like a dream at this point, like fantasizing, oh, that could be really nice. What you might not be seeing is looking more into it will make you realize that the reality of it is not as good as it sounds. Which, being able to see that truth and then eliminate that option will make life a lot less overwhelming. Because it's like you have one less option to think about. So seeing that truth will bring you a lot more clarity in like knowing that you're making the right choice. We also, Scorpio energy could be significant to this group. A person with Scorpio placements, whether that's you or someone else, or Scorpio season, even though this is like a reading in spring, Scorpio season, whenever the next one from whenever you're watching is late October to late November. Group number ones. What is a truth that my group number ones are not seeing? We have the Fool. And two, which came out at the same time. So we have the Eight of Cups and we have the Chariot. So that's really interesting too, because the Eight of Cups is a card about moving on. And we've definitely been receiving messages like that in the first part of your reading. I think something that you're not seeing is that your new beginning is probably going to start much sooner than you think. I'm going to keep using the job example because I think it's easy to understand. But if there was a person who left their job and they're thinking, oh, it's probably going to take me several weeks or even several months to find a new job, and that's something that kind of, well, actually, I don't know how they would feel about that, but the fact of the matter is that they're probably going to find and start on that new chapter sooner than they realize. So if you are watching this right now and you felt concerned that there's going to be this long period of limbo, or there's going to be this long period of stagnation where you're not going to be able to figure out what your new path is, I don't see that to be the case. I think you're actually going to find it much sooner. And I know this sounds cheesy, but when you have found the new path that is right for you, you will just know. You won't have to... If you are feeling overwhelmed about what am I going to do? What are my options? It's probably a sign that the options you're considering are not for you. Because what I'm seeing for this group is that when you find the path that is right for you, you're going to know really quickly and you're going to take action really quickly. you're gonna suddenly become like super go-getter, super action taker, and you're just gonna make it happen. The Chariot, it's all about forward motion. It is related to the sign of Cancer, which is a cardinal sign, and cardinal signs just like take the lead and move forward. It feels very like linear. So it just feels like your instincts are going to propel you forward. And when a path is right for you, like, yes, of course, still research it because that could be helpful. But when you find the path that is right for you, I don't really see you debating about it and like, should I do it? Should I not do it? I don't know. I don't know if this is right for me. It's like you will suddenly just become very decisive and be like, yes, this is it. I know it. I have to do it. And you'll just get a surge of courage that allows you to take the leap of faith. The Fool talks about leaps of faith, and it can also talk about unexpected opportunities coming your way, which also leads me to believe that your new beginning and your new path may not actually be something that you actively seek out, but rather just something that happens to you, especially because these are both major arcana, which is like divine orchestration. The Wheel of Fortune specifically means divine orchestration. So this would be the energy of, rather than someone finding a job through, searching online and applying for things, they might meet someone who offers them a job, or someone already in their life just offers them a job, and it's like perfect, the stars align, everything lines up perfectly, and they're like, yes, this is it. I just know it instinctively. This is what I have to do. So, and actually, we're going to get into this in the next part, but what you may not be seeing is an opportunity, an unexpected, and there's no way you could see it because it's literally going to come out of left field and not through your planning or not through your active searching. But what you don't see is an opportunity coming your way that will be the catalyst for a complete new chapter in your life. I also, something that you may not have seen is that this ending, you're never too late, obviously, but I think your spiritual team is saying this ending could have happened much sooner. It happened when you felt ready, but practically the energy was right before this ending to happen for quite some time. What is an opportunity that my group number ones are not seeing? Ooh, okay, we have the High Priestess. And Death. All right, so I said earlier, you don't see this coming because there's no way you could see it. I may have to correct myself a little bit because I think your higher self did see it. What I should have said is that there was no way for you to anticipate it with your physical eyes or with your physical senses or based on what is in front of you. But likely, the reason you have this surge of courage to end something in your life and move forward is because your higher self already sees that an opportunity is lined up for you. So this may be something that you can't physically see, but that you can feel. Like, I can't really explain why, but I feel like there's like a blessing coming my way. I feel like there's an opportunity coming my way. If you have been feeling like that, I do want to confirm that with the High Priestess, because one thing about the High Priestess is that she sees the unseen and she knows what's up. Like, she knows what is going on. So many of you have probably felt that this is coming. I do get a sense with the High Priestess that you are leveling up in some way or stepping into a higher position. There's this message of gaining more visibility or gaining more like how do I say this? It's like more reputation or a higher status, more people know who you are or like are aware of what you're doing or are admiring and enjoying your work, but you're still maintaining a private and low-key life. That is kind of how this feels. And with death, I feel there's Scorpio energy again. Like there's honestly strong water energy in general in this group. Like these are all water as well. And there's water in this card. So you could have a lot of water placements, or someone significant to you could have strong water placements. But also, this is like literally a message of reincarnation, rebirth, reinventing yourself. Oh, you know what this might be? The hermit crab, like moving into a new shell. You could be moving homes or even moving cities or moving countries, and that is helping you to stay low key somehow. Like you're moving somewhere where nobody knows you, or like you're moving into a new environment where nobody knows you or there's no mutual people. And so you can really go through a personal rebranding and really express yourself in a completely new way. So it's like you're gaining visibility and you're being known by new people. And so they don't have any preconceived notions of who you are. It's kind of like if you stayed in the same environment, people might be like, why are you suddenly changing? Like, why are you doing this? I thought you were like that. I thought you used to do that. I miss the old you. You know, sometimes we get people who are like resistant to our growth and transformation. But if you were to be in a new environment, it's like people only know you as this authentic version. So they're not gonna make you feel like you should crawl back into your shell or you should revert to an old version of you, because they don't know that version. It feels like an opportunity to present yourself as a completely new person. And yeah, I do feel like maybe we're in a different home or a different environment with this crab in a new shell. And yes, I also see with the High Priestess, you are in a higher status, or you're gaining more respect from people. And there's also something about you being legally recognized. I don't know what that means. Legally recognized as a resident, or maybe like if you're like your union with someone is being legally recognized or something like that. Some aspect about you is being legally recognized, or you could be getting a certification in something as well. And these things will bring you more respect. But again, I feel like, because the High Priestess, she doesn't chase, she lets things come to her. And so I feel like these things are just kind of happening for you. They're just coming to you. And any actions that are required on your part will feel very instinctual, you know, rather than like, I analyzed the situation and I weighed the pros and cons and I feel like this is what I should do. It's more like you just feel this is the right way. This is the way to go about it. And if you do find yourself analyzing a lot, it may be because the right option has not even presented itself yet. So let's see. What is a sign that you are not seeing, and who is it from? The Root of Wands, which is the Knight of Wands. And the Lovers. Okay, so definitely seems like you are... Oh, okay. There's two ways I can interpret this, and please feel free to claim both because they're both lovely messages. Knight of Wands for me has a pretty specific meaning when it comes to this kind of question. It is like a guide friend. And I often see it as when two souls have had many lives together as like best friends, and now one of them is hanging out to guide the other. Like your friend who is not incarnate in this lifetime is guiding over you. I often see the Knight of Wands like this. So like a guide that you are very, very friendly with. This spirit guide, when they communicate to you, they likely do so in a way that is kind of casual, that has a lot of humor in it. You know, it's not like very formal and strict. It's like they're just having fun with you. They're having a good time with you, and it feels friendly and it feels light. That's how this guide communicates, and they like to send you a lot of uplifting and encouraging messages, because this is someone who has lived on earth and knows how tough it is and knows how it can really chip away at your self-esteem, and we can doubt ourselves. And so their role as a guide is to keep reminding you how amazing you are and lift you up in hard times and encourage you to keep going. So I do think there is a spirit guide like that who is sending you signs. And in terms of what they're sending you signs about, it is about a significant relationship in your life with a soulmate or with a divine counterpart. So they're probably, if you already know someone who is your soulmate or your divine counterpart, then they're probably sending you messages to take action, to keep moving towards it, to make the first move. So maybe they see that you're not really doing that. Like you're seeing the signs about this person, but you're perhaps not acting on them, or you are seeing signs, but you're still doubtful of them. So this guide is here to really reinforce, like, no, you're like, the signs are there for a reason. Like, this is what we're trying to tell you. Go for it. Embrace it. Embrace it. Yeah, I feel like many of you are seeing the signs, but you're not fully embracing them, or you're doubting them a lot. And this guide is like, come on. Believe in yourself, believe in what you're experiencing, and know that you're amazing, and know that you're worthy, and go for it. So that is one interpretation of this. But you could also be, additionally, receiving signs from the higher self of your counterpart, who wants to lift you up and encourage you. And I have a feeling for many of you who chose this group, you know, if you're going through this transition of weeding and an ending and walking away and stepping into like a completely new stage where you can invent yourself and express yourself however you want to without being unwantedly, unfavorably tied to past versions of you that you don't resonate with anymore. Like if you're going through this, it can be tough, right? And so maybe their higher self is kind of whispering to you that there's something beautiful for you to experience together on the other side of all of this. Like there may be a union between the two of you, or advancing to the next level that's on the other side of all of this. And so they're kind of, their higher self, or even them from the future, is calling to you from the other side to help you make it through this uncomfortable transition. So yeah, I think you guys have a really, really close soulmate who is waiting for you. I do feel that for many of you it's romantic. This image definitely looks that way, but of course it can be a platonic soulmate as well. So yeah, and I think especially for this part, it's not necessarily that you don't see this, but are maybe not fully embracing it or fully believing in it. Because with the Lovers as well, like definitely their higher self speaks to you. I often see psychic and telepathic connection with the Lovers cards. So for the final part of the reading, we're just going to get any additional messages and advice that, well, I was going to say your soul family, okay, that your spiritual team has for you. And so we're going to use the Bloom Oracle again for this. We have Harmony with This Is All Perfect. We have the number 10, which is the number of the Wheel of Fortune, and a butterfly, and 3333 as I'm holding up this card. So 3333 is definitely a sign of your transformation. If you're seeing that number, you're transforming and you're specifically transforming into your highest version, your most authentic version. And your spiritual team just wants you to know that everything is unfolding in the perfect way. Oh, sorry, cactus. Our final card is Sunflower, Face the Light, with the number 26. Oh, it's like a butterfly flying towards the sun, towards the light, towards the warmth. I'm also thinking of death, like the death card again, because, you know, we talk about going towards the light when you're ending an incarnation. And I really feel, I think maybe your spiritual team just wants to highlight how dramatic this transformation will feel for you. For some of you, it could literally feel like you are dying and being reborn again. And you might really look back on this time of your life as like, this is when my first life ended and my second life started. Like, it just feels completely new and different. But you get to bring everything about you that you want to bring into this new life. And anything you don't want to bring, you don't have to bring it. Your talents, your strengths, especially parts of you that you felt got lost in this phase of your life, that your soul has been aching to express. Because, you know, the sunflowers, it's making me think of passion and self-expression. And I feel like there's a lot of delightful traits about you that haven't gotten to be expressed in your current environment, or that you don't have the time to express, or you don't have the energy to express because you're so drained, or you're just focused on all these other things. And I can really say in this next stage of your life is that you have a lot of room to breathe. Like, the real version of you has space to come out and stretch out again and breathe. And you have a lot of space to create or recreate yourself and decide how you want to show up in the world in this next phase. Like, we don't have to be on autopilot and keep repeating our old habits and our old expressions. So this is a really beautiful opportunity that you are stepping into, and I'm so happy to see it. So group number ones, these are all the messages I have for you. So I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. And thank you so much to Tarot Stack for collaborating with me on another bundle. And thank you so much to the creators of these amazing decks. I'm going to have the individual decks as well as the bundle linked down below. So if there's, whether you want to check out this bundle or just one deck in particular, you can do so through the links below. And remember that you can check out every card in the deck on Tarot Stack's website. And you can also get 10% off the bundle using the code KINO. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch tons of timeless, exclusive pick-a-card readings just like this one. And you can also decide on topics for future readings. I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video. That is an original song. I will also have my latest release linked down below. And finally, my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you. To anyone who appeared in this reading directly or indirectly, I'm sending love to your higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Hi number twos. So if you guys chose the yellow cactus, this is going to be a reading all about what you are not seeing. So this is everything that we're going to be covering in the reading today. We're going to start off with a little energy check where we take a look at your current energy as well as the energies surrounding you right now. Then we're going to dive into the what you're not seeing part. So we're going to see a truth that you're not seeing, an opportunity that you're not seeing, and a sign that you're not seeing, and who this sign is from. And then at the end of the reading, we will get some messages and advice from your spiritual team. So that's the reading today. Thank you so much for watching. At the beginning and also at the very end of the reading, we're going to use the Bloom Oracle deck. And then throughout the reading, we're going to be using the Gentle Tarot. And these two decks together are the KINO Tarot Spring Bundle, which I've curated in collaboration with Tarot Stack. Tarot Stack and I team up every season to put together a tarot and oracle deck bundle, and I'm really excited for this one. It is nature themed, it's perfect for spring, it's just so beautiful. Tarot Stack, if you haven't heard of them before, they are an online shop that carries a huge selection of indie tarot and oracle decks, so you can browse decks from all different creators in one place. And Tarot Stack is an active supporter of the tarot community, with 50% of their profits going towards new indie tarot and oracle deck projects. So they help these independent creators realize their projects and get their decks out there into the world, which I really, really appreciate. I've discovered so many amazing decks and creators thanks to Tarot Stack. So I'm going to have this bundle linked down below, as well as the individual decks. If there's one in particular that you resonate with, you can check them out individually as well. And you can see every single card in the deck on Tarot Stack's website. You can also see my own personal insights and comments about the decks and how to use them and all of that kind of stuff. And if you do feel called to get the bundle, you can get a 10% discount using the code KINO. Thank you so much, Tarot Stack, for collaborating with me once again. And without further ado, let's get into your reading. So we are starting off with... Nails are not very efficient for picking things up. We are starting with the Bloom Oracle, and we're going to check out your current energy. Group number 2. Group number 2's current energy. We have Sunflower, Face the Light. And we have Family, We Are Stronger Together. What beautiful cards. So for my group number 2s, we have Sunflower here. If this is not your energy right now, it is about to be your energy very soon. But I see you in an energy where things are really looking up. I see you happy, honestly. That's just a very simple way to put it. I see that your sorrows, your stresses are fading away. I see that your inner world is feeling much better. Your mental health is improving. Your emotional state is improving. You feel more joyful in your day-to-day life. You feel more carefree. In general, you feel more free. Anything that has weighed you down or is weighing you down is dissolving. And I see you full of life and like just genuinely cheerful and excited about life and excited to experience life without fear and without judgment. This kind of feels like a zest for life, a passion for life. You could be feeling very creatively inspired or inspired to try new things and experiment without pressure, like just for fun. I think life feels fun and light and you are just happy. It's really simple, but that's just it. I see you in an energy where you are happy. And I also see you with a beautiful support system with this Family card. We are stronger together. I love the roots that are coming down. It feels like you're in a place where you feel a sense of belonging, and you're with people where you feel a sense of belonging. At this time, you could be deepening your bonds with the people in your life. So you could be feeling more connected to your friends, to your family, your partner, or your love interest. This could also be a sign for those of you who are manifesting soul family connections. This could also be a sign that you are, like, the energy you need to be in to manifest that, you are already in that energy. So that's why I say if this is not you right now, it is about to be you. For some of you, this could indicate improving relationships with your biological family or your family as a group is receiving some good news. Like you're receiving good news that will positively impact your whole family. You could be receiving some good news about a family increasing or starting a family or children, because this kind of reminds me of the Sun card. So I think that's why children are in my mind. But manifesting soul family, strengthening bonds with your family, or good news that will positively impact your family, I also see here. There could also be a message of reconciliation. If there's someone you've been wanting to reconcile with, I do see that you are currently in the energy to manifest that. And if you've been wanting to reconnect with someone or deepen your bond with someone or really open up and be vulnerable with someone, there's also energies that are in favor of that. So this looks really beautiful. That's your energy. Let's see what energy is around you right now. What energy is around my group number 2s? The Seed of Stone. So this is the Page of Pentacles. And, oh, okay, and the Six of Stones, which is the Six of Pentacles. Actually, it's really beautiful that for your surrounding energies, we have 2 Earth cards, because that's an energy of stability and security, and we were talking about you feeling rooted and grounded. I do want to say, for those of you who have struggled with anxiety, I feel like you're entering into a stage of your life where you feel much more calm because there is stability and predictability in your surroundings. And I'm hearing like you can settle into it. You can ease into the way your life is now, and know that the rug is not going to be pulled out from under you. I don't really see an energy of there being unwanted, unexpected changes. The things that you want to plan and keep under control, they will go according to your plan. And if there are any unexpected like surprises, it's going to be welcome. It's going to be positive, something that you want to happen. So no nasty surprises, no rug getting pulled, and there's a nice sense of predictability, a nice sense of consistency that you are experiencing in this stage of your life. It's like you can settle down. Emotionally, you can settle down. You don't have to be looking over your shoulder, like what's going to happen. This could be for some of you, like you're settling down in a relationship, or you're settling down in a living situation, or you found a position, or you found a role that you can really see yourself in the long term. This is a stage of your life where you are settling into long-term things that nourish you, that bring you comfort, that bring you sustenance, that bring you security. It's a really beautiful energy. With the Page of Pentacles here, again, there could be a message about children, because this reminded me of children, and the pages can talk about children. Of course, take that if it resonates, like if you resonate with a child coming into your life, or if you already have children, this could be you spending more time with them consistently. For some of you, this could also be your inner child who is coming through, and they're coming through because your inner child is so happy they're finally getting that stability that they craved, finally getting consistency that they craved. I do see that you'll have opportunities to try new things in your career, to learn new skills, to take on new hobbies. This is a time with a lot of potential, and whatever you're doing now, it is laying the foundations for you to have an abundant lifestyle in the future and to really have lasting prosperity. Then we have the Six of Stones, the Six of Pentacles, which I think is very similar to this card's energy. They're actually both the number 6, which is like the number of the lovers, healthy relationships, intimacy, connection, peace, balance, harmony. Really lovely energies here, but this is a card about giving and receiving and being supported and being assisted. So again, I feel like that's a confirmation of you having a really wonderful support system around you. And actually, for those of you who are thinking about learning something new, starting a new project, trying something new in your career. Something that you might not see is that supporters are going to rush in for you, whether that's an audience, people actually helping you do the work, collaborators. Support is going to rush in for you. If you start on a new venture, you will be supported. And I also feel that this Six of Pentacles confirms that whatever efforts you put into a project or a venture, it will pay off. It will pay off perfectly. Like nothing, the universe is saying nothing will slip through the cracks. So any efforts you put in, they are going to pay off. And I just kind of feel like this is a stage in your life where things are going according to plan and things are going as you expected. I just saw 1111. So I think that's a sign of that. Things are going according to your will, basically, in a very nice way. You know, it's really nice to see. And the Six of Pentacles also talks about reciprocity. So I think you're going to be feeling more of that in your life. People around you reciprocating energy back to you, or perhaps a specific person reciprocating energy back to you. And I think in general, just feeling like the universe is reciprocating, the universe is listening to you, the universe is hearing you. You're going to feel 1144 as I say that. You're going to feel like you have a really clear and open channel of communication with the universe, and that whatever request or intention you put into the universe, or a question that you put into the universe, it will kind of spit out exactly what you expected. So there's not a lot of having to read between the lines and like guess what is the universe planning, what is the universe trying to do. It feels like a stage of a lot of clarity, and I think that this is going to bring a lot of relief. I think this is predictability in your life that is much needed after uncertain times, after turbulent times. It's like, oh, finally everything is settled. I love it. Okay, so we're gonna pull some more tarot cards to see what you are not seeing. I wonder if, we've been talking about a lot of lovely blessings, and perhaps some of these are things that you don't see coming at this time. I just noticed, because this card has a number 11 on it, so this would be, numerologically, it would be 2. So it's like 2, 2, 6, 6, 6, 2s and 6s. It's like balance, reciprocity, harmony in your life. Also with this earth energy, earth placements, someone with earth placements could be significant, especially Taurus energy, Leo energy, Gemini energy as well, because there's a loversy vibe here. What are my group number 2s not seeing? So we're going to start with a truth that you do not see. I wonder if I should be covering these. I don't know, because it's so obviously drawn, but I'm scared of YouTube, so. We have, oh my gosh, and it's another Pentacles card, another Earth card. A truth that you do not see. I feel like I resonate with that message too, this 2 of Pentacles. And and another 2. 2 2s, 2 2 2 6 6 6, 2s and 6s. I wonder if someone is like 26 years old, or could even be someone's birthday on the 26th, some date with 2s and 6s that is important. But that's so cool that we got 2 2s again. And the 2 of Cups, which is about reciprocity, relationships, connections, like beautiful connections. That is definitely something in your future, and that is already happening now, that maybe you don't see. On this note with the 2 of Cups, I think a truth that you don't see is that there could be, for those of you who have feelings for a specific person, you might not see that those feelings are reciprocated. Maybe you're not seeing it, or maybe it's not being shown to you. But if you have feelings for someone, the feelings are equally reciprocated. And even platonically, if there's someone you really look up to, they're so cool, they're so amazing, I wish I could be closer with them, I wish I could be friends with them. You know, if you platonically, like if you have a platonic crush on someone, let's say, they feel the same way about you. I think you don't see how people reciprocate feelings to you. People admire you more than you realize. People like you more than you realize. People want to get closer to you more than you realize. And I kind of wonder if some of you who chose this group maybe create a self-fulfilling prophecy where, like, I'm just imagining someone who stays home or, you know, doesn't go out, doesn't meet people because they think, oh, people wouldn't like me anyway. But then they create a self-fulfilling prophecy where those people don't have a chance to see how amazing you are. And then it's like, see, I don't have friends and it's because nobody likes me. And it's like, no, like you have to get out there and show people how amazing you are. Or maybe a better example of this would be if you like someone romantically or platonically, but you assume that they don't feel the same way, so you don't say anything. And then they assume that you're not interested, so they don't say anything either. And it just creates this loop where nobody is saying anything. So maybe the person on the other side also does not see how you feel and how you admire them and how you like them and how you want to hang out with them. You could even be in a situation where you really want to get closer to someone or you really want to spend more time with someone, but you're like, oh no, they must be so busy, I don't want to bother them. And then they are doing the exact same thing on the other side. They're like, oh, group number 2 must be so busy, I don't want to bother them. And then you're just both assuming that the other has no time or the other is not interested. It's like, it feels self-fulfilling. And it does, because with all this reciprocity energy, it kind of feels like both parties are doing it. So you might not see just how beautiful the potential of a certain connection is. What you think is just a fantasy of like, oh, I wish I could get closer to them. I wish they like me. I wish they felt this way. It's like, no, they do. It's just that nobody is initiating because you're both making the same assumptions about each other. So I think that is one truth that you're not seeing. Again, this could be in a romantic connection or in a platonic connection. And I also think a truth you don't see is that there are certain spaces out there where you belong and spaces that want you and spaces that will welcome you. And I think this maybe falls more into the category of imposter syndrome or feeling not good enough for something. Like, let's say you really wanted to learn how to dance, but you're like, oh, if I go to that dance class, like I'm going to be the most beginner and I'm going to slow everyone down and it's just going to annoy people, or like people are going to look down on me because I'm not that good at it. But what you don't see is that maybe that community would be super welcoming. And oh, that's just reminding me, in my pole class, there are these 2 girls who are more advanced than the rest of us, but they're like, oh my God, they're so sweet and helpful and encouraging, and they're like angels. There's amazing people and supportive people out there that maybe you don't see yet because you're not initiating or putting yourself in those spaces to get to know them. So things like that, or feeling called to try something professionally, but then feeling like an imposter, feeling not good enough, not qualified enough, not worthy enough. And what you don't see is that those people would love you in that space and they would welcome you with open arms and you would fit right in and they would celebrate your presence there. I think maybe you don't see how much your presence is wanted or needed or appreciated, or how much you are welcomed. And yeah, like, you should go in the spaces that you want to go to, because I think the negative assumptions that you make, it's just a story you tell yourself, and it's maybe keeping you from really amazing experiences and amazing connections. And then with the Two of Pentacles, something you may not be seeing is that I see often, well, that's literally what the Two of Pentacles is about. Like, you're juggling many things. So there may be, especially for those of you who are torn on a decision, like, should I do this or that? There might be a way that you can do both that you just don't see yet. Or if you feel like you have to choose one passion or choose one lane, what you might not see is that you can actually do it all. For some of you, you might even find a way to combine them, or just maybe you don't see, like, if you prioritize and if you manage your time, if you are more efficient, you will have time to do everything that you want to do and everything that you need to do. And if you have a support system, actually, for that matter, you can and will do all of the things. You don't have to compromise. You don't have to sacrifice a passion or sacrifice a hobby. Like, you have time, and you may not see that. Things may need to be moved around and efficiency may need to be increased, but it is possible. And the other truth that you might not see, and this is the one that I kind of resonate with, is that there's no such thing as being settled forever, or like, everything is always gonna change, and there's always gonna be something in your life that's up in the air or that's going through a transition, and that's okay, and you can still feel settled and happy in those circumstances, in those conditions. I used to stress myself out about, like, I just want to get settled down. I just want everything to be settled. But that's kind of an illusion, because life is dynamic and it's always moving. 22, as I'm talking about that. There are those twos again. There's just so many moving pieces. And I think the lesson is just if you are waiting for everything to stop moving until you can be calm and at peace and start working on what you want to work on, you're never going to do it. I wonder if there's something new that you want to do, that you want to try, but you're like, I just have to wait for my life to settle down. And it's like, I do see you in a very stable place, but the idea that everything is going to be still and not budging, and then that's it, you settled your life, the end, that's just not a thing. Like, life is a living, breathing thing, and even while things are moving, you can start working on something. You can start doing the things that you want to do. You can feel peace. You can feel fulfillment. Let's see, what is an opportunity that you are not seeing? What is an opportunity that you are not seeing? Woo, that's a lot. Well, I'm not going to take all of those, but damn, universe, that's crazy. I'm not reading all that. But I will take that as a sign that there are many, many opportunities that you are not seeing or that you don't see coming. Many, many. We have strength. Aww. And the Seed of Wands. Those images are actually kind of similar, with the rainbow and the swimming creature. The seal is so cute. And the whale. They're both very cute. And what was I going to say? Anyway, this is very sweet to me. I think that this just makes me think of friendship, and I don't even know if that's a meaning of the Strength card traditionally, but a lot of the time I do think of friendship, and maybe it's actually a sign that these two creatures look similar, and they're both fire sign. Like, this is Leo, and I think the Page of Wands is just fire signs in general. But is this me and Aso? Like, two fire signs swimming along peacefully. Yeah, I think that you have some besties out there that you haven't met yet, people who will become your best friend, people who are perhaps your soul family, and maybe what you don't see is that the opportunity to meet them is already there, which leads me to believe that the way to meeting these people is to face the fears that stop you from going and doing the things you want to do. So there may be, that assumption that people are going to perceive you in a certain way that keeps you in your shell, or an imposter syndrome that keeps you in your shell. Maybe there's a discomfort in going somewhere new alone or trying something new alone that keeps you in your shell. Maybe it's the illusion that you don't have time, so you don't try new things. But I think that, because what I really want to make clear is that the version of you need to be, the person you need to be, or the energy you need to be in to manifest everything you want, you're already in that energy right now. 26. Oh my gosh. You're literally already in that energy. And I think the only thing that's really in the way is getting over fears or discomfort or challenging the negative assumptions that you have. It's like they're literally there waiting for you. I used that example of going to a dance class. Like, in that example, your bestie is already in that dance class. Like, the opportunity to meet them is literally there if you just go to the thing. So the inspirations you feel to study something new, to take up a hobby, to learn something new, to try going to a new place that you feel you've been hesitant about, or that you've been holding yourself back, what is on the other side of that is the best friends you could ever imagine. And isn't that so sweet? Like, imagine stepping into that new space and you're like, people don't want me here, or I don't belong here, I don't fit in here, or these people are not going to like me, they're going to think I'm this or that. Stepping into that space thinking those very things, and your bestie for life is there. I think, and even Page of Wands, it's like, and strength, having the inner strength and having the courage to boldly try something new for fun, or that you're passionate about, or that excites you, or that lights you up. And it doesn't have to be so serious, right? I think the Page of Pentacles likes to start new ventures knowing, where's this headed? What is my 5-year plan? How am I going to monetize this? How is this going to be constructive? Whereas the Page of Wands is just like, this looks fun, let's do it. What if I only go to 2 dance classes and then I quit? What if I can't keep it up? That's okay. You could still try. Like, it's okay. And I think it's like taking the pressure off of yourself of trying new things, that it doesn't necessarily have to amount to something. It could, that's maybe not even the reason you feel called to it. Maybe you feel called to it because it's going to be very enjoyable, or because you're going to make amazing connections. And so I think we don't always need to know the reason that our higher self is calling us to do something. We don't always have to speculate about where it's going to lead and like what the trajectory is going to be. That often actually overcomplicates things, when really we don't know. And if we just show up, then we will see, oh, that's why the universe told me to come here. I think I was wondering if I was ever going to tell this story, but I think it's like a case study in don't assume your higher self's intentions. Like, don't assume the universe's intentions. I don't even know if this is exactly the same, but it's still a funny story, so I'm going to tell it anyway. I was reading the comments on one of my videos, and someone had commented in a thread, like they were replying to the original commenter, I think. And it felt rude to me. Like, it felt like they were saying something rude about me. And I kind of sat there and I was like, Do I respond? No, I don't have to respond. Or maybe I should. Maybe I have time today for some foolishness. I kind of sat there debating for a bit, and I asked the universe if I should respond. The universe said no. And I assumed, because I had my own reasoning, you know, I was saying to myself, maybe I should just be the bigger person and not respond. That was the story I was telling myself. So when the universe said no, I just overlaid that onto the universe's answer and said, oh, the universe is saying no because the universe wants me to be a bigger person. Okay, universe, got you. But actually, that was not why, because literally hours later, I was riding my bike, I was idle. And I was like, wait a minute. I completely misunderstood what that comment was saying. And it actually wasn't rude at all. And I was like, can you imagine if I had responded with some sass and they're like, Kino, that's not what I meant. Like, I misunderstood the sentence structure, like on a grammatical level. And I'm like, oh my God, that's what they were saying. So thank God I didn't respond. But also, that just goes to show sometimes when the universe tells you to do something or to not do something, we don't know why. We like to assume why, and that's how we get confused and disappointed, I think. Universe, but you said if I did this, I would... No, I didn't. I just told you to do it. Maybe... I didn't say why. I just said it's gonna lead to your expansion. It's gonna be a lesson. Like, you didn't ask me why. You just assumed. So... why was I... Anyway, you don't have to know why you're called somewhere to just go for it. And it doesn't matter if it's not gonna lead to some big, long-term, profitable, constructive thing. Maybe you just go to one dance class and you never go again, but you met an amazing friend. Like, that's okay. It doesn't have to be for some other assumed reason. That was... Can you hear Molly upstairs? Okay, let's see. What is a sign that you're not seeing? And who is this sign from? We have the Hermit. Okay, so the sign is from your higher self. Oh, and your star family. You're receiving signs from your higher self and from your star family. And what is the sign that you are not seeing? I actually think I have to pull another one because this is like who the sign is from. Oh, you know what though? The sign, it's not something that you see externally. It's that your star family is communicating to you from the inside. So through emotions, through thoughts, through downloads, things that suddenly pop into your head, perhaps even physical sensations that you feel in your body. So if you are not registering these signs, if you're not recognizing that they're there, it may be because of like a bit of disconnection from your body, which tends to happen when the mind is very active and when we're thinking about a million different things and going through the motions of the day. We kind of have to make a point of slowing down and reconnecting to our body. So your star family may be encouraging you to do that. I also think there's messages from your higher self that you are destined for greatness or destined for something greater that you maybe don't see or don't accept. I was gonna pull a clarifier, but at the bottom of the deck there's the 5 of Wands. So I actually think that for a lot of you, it's not that you don't see the sign, it's that you resist it or even refute it or deny it. I think you get a lot of signs and messages about how amazing you are and how bright your future is, and you just like dismiss it or just it's hard to believe. Maybe you're like, you watch or readings or do readings for yourself and the messages are so amazing and like all of these blessings are coming in, and you can't really find it in you to believe it or to accept it, or surely that couldn't be about me or my life or something like that. But I also think, the Five of Wands sometimes feels to me like a frazzled mind. So if you do have a frazzled mind, you might be missing the signs from your star family and from your higher self, because they're not out in the world. I think a lot of the signs and messages are coming from the inside. Yeah. So for the last part of this reading, we are going to go back to the Bloom Oracle. And let's get some messages and advice from your spiritual team. We have detach from ego with humility, which is funny because I feel like, for example, saying that I'm the best, I'm better than everyone, like I'm the most important person in this room, that's ego, and that's something that we very much acknowledge is ego. But also saying that, like, oh, I don't fit in, people are gonna think I'm weird, or that's also ego, and ego isn't inherently bad or malicious, but it is self-protecting. Like, that's its main function, is to protect and preserve you. And I feel like a lot of the time ego doesn't have that discernment of, is this method of protecting myself helpful? So it can, maybe your ego thinks that it's protecting you from rejection or protecting you from disappointment, but it could be holding you back. So that's why we have this detach from ego message. This is also, with humility, this is also reminding me of that message. For example, like, let's say, I'm just going to use the dance class again, okay? It's very good for this situation. If you're like, oh, I'm not that good at it, and like everyone's going to be judging me, it's like, nobody cares. Like, nobody's even going to be thinking about you. They're just focusing on their own dance. And so in a way, like, even if you are having thoughts that are self-deprecating, you are also kind of inflating your importance. Like, nobody's, oh, look at that person, they're dancing, like, people are not thinking about you that much, people are not looking at you that much, and that's also kind of an egoic way to think. So I kind of feel this is like setting yourself free from all of that egoic, like, how are they gonna perceive me, or what if they don't like me, and you're just like, I don't care. That's when you are truly free. And it's funny that this is the number of the Hanged Man, so it really feels like ego is keeping you stuck. It's keeping you hanging there in a limbo where you have this passion and then you hold back. What other advice can we get for? Although maybe that slip is a sign. This is advice from you, advice from your higher self. Oh, unity, we are all in this together. These go together so well. We are all in this together. We are stronger together. You know what, too? Everyone else in that dance class probably also feels self-conscious. And everyone else in that dance class also probably needs to know that nobody's looking at them and nobody cares. Like, you are definitely not alone in feeling this way. I think this is a common human experience, and as much as you may be stepping out of your comfort zone to enter into new spaces, I think knowing that others in there might feel the same way makes it a lot less intimidating. And then rather than retreating from people out of fear, now we want to lean into each other to comfort and support each other in our shared experience. I want to read this unity card from the guidebook. We are all in this together, me and you, us and them, him and her. We are all in the same river of life, just in different boats. We came from the same place, and one day we will return to the same place. Why judge and compare someone else's journey to your own, and vice versa? We are one, and we are all. Ask yourself, where have I been comparing myself to others? And where have I been comparing others to me? I'm very glad I read that. That's a lovely message. So, group number 2s. These are all of the messages that I have for you. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. Thank you so much to Tarot Stack for collaborating with me once again. And thank you so much to the creators of these beautiful decks for your work, for sharing your insights, for inspiring us. I'm going to have this bundle linked down below. I'm also going to have the individual decks if there's one in particular that you are feeling called to. Remember that you can see all of the cards in each deck on Tarot Stack's website. And also remember, if you do feel called to get the bundle, you can get a 10% discount with the code KINO. I hope you guys have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch tons of timeless, exclusive pick-a-card readings just like this one, and you can also decide on topics for future readings. I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video. That is an original song. I will also have my latest release linked down below, and finally my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, to anyone who appeared in this reading directly or indirectly, to your higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Hi, number 3s. So if you guys chose this green succulent, I don't know if this is a cactus, but this little green boy, this is going to be your reading all about what you are not seeing. So this is everything that is going to be covered in the reading today. We're going to start off with a little energy check and take a look at your current energy as well as the energies surrounding you. Then we're going to dive into the what you're not seeing part. So we are going to see a truth that you're not seeing, an opportunity that you're not seeing, and a sign that you're not seeing, and who that sign is from. And then we'll finish off the reading with messages and advice from your spiritual team. So that's the reading today. Thank you so much for watching. At the start of the reading and at the very end, we're going to pull cards from the Bloom Oracle deck, and then throughout the reading we're going to be using the Gentle Tarot. And these two decks are the KINO Tarot Spring Bundle, which I've curated in collaboration with Tarot Stack. Every season, Tarot Stack and I team up to put together a tarot and oracle deck bundle. This one I'm so excited about. She is nature themed. She is beautiful. It's perfect for spring. If you guys haven't heard of Tarot Stack before, they're an online shop that carries a huge selection of indie tarot and oracle decks. So you can browse decks from all different creators all in one place. And Tarot Stack is an active supporter of our community, with 50% of their profits going towards funding new indie tarot and oracle deck projects. So they help these independent creators get their projects realized and get their decks out there into the world. I am going to have this bundle linked down below, and the individual decks. If there's one in particular that you feel called to, you can check them out on Tarot Stack's website. You can also see every single card that is in each deck, and you can see my own personal insights and comments on the deck and the bundle and how to use it and everything like that. And if you do feel called to the bundle, you can get a 10% discount using the code KINO. Thank you so much, Tarot Stack, for collaborating with me once again. And now let's get into your reading. So we're going to start with the Bloom Oracle and see what is going on in your current energy. My group number 3s, what is going on in your current energy? We have beauty, cherish your own beauty. And then we have thorns. Notice your weaknesses and vulnerabilities. Isn't that cool? Doesn't this look like both of these cards are a pair, like they're meant to go together. For one, they both have roses on them. And I'm thinking of that expression, every rose has its thorns. So this is about recognizing your beauty and your strengths, and this is about recognizing your weaknesses and vulnerabilities. Honestly, what I felt as soon as I saw this first card is that in your current energy, you are falling in love with yourself. 333, as I am saying that, which is such a beautiful number for that, because 3 is the number of the Empress, unconditional love, unconditional acceptance, also an energy of nurturing and nourishing yourself. This really feels like an energy of falling in love with yourself, recognizing your inner beauty, recognizing your outer beauty, giving love to parts of yourself that had been deprived of love for so long. I also think this could be a time where you are receiving praise, honestly, praise and external validation for your character or for something that you made is what is coming through. So, or some work that you've done. You could be noticing that more people are being vocal about their appreciation towards you and the quality of the work that you do and the beauty in the things that you make. And this is going to be very fulfilling for you because, of course, the ultimate joy is enjoying what you create and enjoying yourself, but it's very fulfilling to know like what I make is appreciated, the work I do is appreciated, and I am bringing positive value to this space and to other people's lives. I think you're really going to be getting that confirmation, or you already are. If this is not your current energy, it is about to be your energy. And I think you're just getting that confirmation and validation that the work that you've been putting in is really paying off and it's really worthwhile, and just, you know, I am beautiful and I'm capable of expressing that beauty and I'm capable of creating beautiful things. As a part of the universe, I am inherently beautiful and I'm inherently precious and a miracle, and I just see you really filling up with this self-love. And even me just sitting in this energy, it feels really, really good. And the beautiful thing is that you are aware of your weaknesses, you're aware of your challenges, and that doesn't take away the love that you have for yourself, and that doesn't make you any less lovable. And maybe I feel like there's kind of a shift in mindset where it was like, I have these weaknesses. Yeah, it's like I see this mindset shift where it starts at, I have these weaknesses and I need to change them and then I will love myself. And then it shifted to, I have these weaknesses and I have to try to love myself in spite of them. And then its final stage of evolution is, I have strengths and I have weaknesses and I love myself unconditionally. And this is the place that I think you're in, and it's really nice to see. I want to read the Cherish Your Own Beauty card from the guidebook. So passage number 3. Cherish your own beauty, for yourself first and foremost. A rose blooms not for validation, but for the pure pleasure of self-realization. Embrace your beauty and your full potential simply because you deserve it. You deserve to feel your most authentic light, beautiful self. Authentic, light, beautiful self. This card also signifies that it's time to focus on self-love, on pouring your time and energy into filling your own cup. Ask yourself, what do I find beautiful? What makes me feel most beautiful? What brings me pleasure? How can I feel better right in this moment? I feel like there's some irony in this message, because it's like, if you were in a more self-doubting or a more insecure place, that's when you would maybe care about others' validation. And it's like, when you've reached a place that you, not that you don't care about it, but that it's not like you depend on it to be happy, that's when you start receiving it. It's this weird thing where the universe gives you things when you stop caring about it. Or maybe you just notice more of it because you're not looking at the world through lack-tinted glasses. But Anyway, I think you're really going to be feeling the love from within you and from outside of you as well. Definitely receiving a lot of confirmation, like external confirmation. Not that that's the most important thing, but it's going to be there. Like, just know that it's going to be there. So I want to take a couple cards from the Gentle Tarot. And we're going to look at the energies that are surrounding you. Roses could also be an important sign for this group, like seeing roses. That could be someone on the other side sending you love. Look at that. We have the Six of Wands, which is literally external validation. People admiring you, looking up to you, finding you attractive. But the thing is that, yeah, it's like I feel like you can actually enjoy it and thrive in it because you're not so attached to it. For those of you who are working towards fame or being more known or growing a platform, the Six of Wands is a very strong sign of that. It could also be that you're having interactions with people like that. So you could be, I want to say rubbing shoulders, I think is the expression. You could be meeting public figures, people who have a big following. You could be working with them or working for them or having back and forth with them, messaging back and forth with them. I'm also hearing scouted. You could be scouted somewhere. This also really gives the feeling of not dimming your light anymore and repairing your relationship with receiving attention. The eagle is one of the flyest high birds, if not the highest, which makes it, you know, everyone can look up and see it. And it's also an excellent bird. If you determine excellence by how high you can fly, the eagle is a very excellent bird. And this person who is riding the eagle, they have their arms spread out, like they're not hiding. They're completely open and in plain sight. And it feels like repairing a relationship with being seen or being perceived or receiving attention. And then we also have the Strength card. So an interesting thing is that both of these cards have Leo energy. They're both related to the sign of Leo. So you could have Leo placements or a significant person could have them. It could also be that Leo season coming up from whenever you're watching this is going to be an important time. So late August to late September. Or no, that's Virgo season. But that might also be an important sign because I said it. So late July to late August, but also to late September. Yeah. Basically August and September, okay? So anyway, back to what I was saying. I think it's interesting that both of these are Leo because this does talk about your light that you shine, your passion, your presence, your charm, your charisma. And this has the planet Jupiter's influence as well. So it's being expanded. And this does feel like an energy of coming out of your shell and being very well received. But the thing is, it's not like you're coming out of your shell because you want to be like, everyone, look at me. You're coming out of your shell because it feels good. It feels good to be expansive. It feels good to express yourself. It feels good to put yourself or your work out there. And people receiving it and people admiring it is just going to be a byproduct of that. And I think you've reached a really good place where you are not attached to people's perceptions of you, or you're not attached to the validation. So just for one example, like let's say someone got famous and then they derive a lot of their self-worth from like, oh, all of my fans love me and I'm getting so much attention and I have so many admirers and my work is performing super well. Then that person is kind of screwed, because if all of that goes away, they're going to be in a really bad place. And so I feel like you're in a really good place. And so even if someday all of that went away, you would love yourself just as much. So it's more like you're enjoying the ride, and you're not every day like, how do I maintain this? How do I make sure this doesn't go away? You're just like, this might not last forever, and that's fine. I'm just enjoying myself. I'm enjoying expressing myself. I feel like that's the energy that you're in, or that you're moving into. And I wonder if for this group, the universe was saving certain blessings for you, to make sure you were in that good place, or there was something from inside of you that was kind of hitting the brakes or holding you back from going after certain things. And maybe you didn't know why. Maybe you thought like, oh, why can't I get motivated? Why do I keep chickening out? And it was because instinctively, or from your higher self, maybe you wanted to wait until you were in a good place that you could truly enjoy the blessings without getting too attached to them, because you needed them for validation, if that makes sense. So everything's happening in the perfect time. And honestly, what I'm talking about is very much strength. It's an inner strength. It's having worked on and cultivated your self-love, building a thick skin and resilience, and a love that is unconditional and that can wear any storm. Is that it? Bear any storm? Whatever. That life throws your way. Okay, so we're gonna get into the what you're not seeing part. What is group number 1 not, or group number 3 not seeing? What is a truth that they're not seeing? If anyone is watching this right now and you did feel called to group number 1, that was maybe confirmation to check out group number 1 too. If you weren't drawn to group number 1, then ignore that. It was an accident. So we have 3 cards coming out at the same time. We have the Magician. Whoa, okay. So we had the Magician and 2 5s, right? So like 1 5 5, and then when I held up the Magician card, the time on the camera was 1 5 5 1. So if you're looking out for repeating numbers, 1s and 5s could be something that you are seeing, or that you will start to see, like numbers to look out for. And that definitely makes me think of new beginnings and change. So you are this Magician. That might be a truth about yourself that you don't see. And basically what I would say about this is that you are more powerful than you realize, especially you're a more powerful manifester than you realize. This group, you may also be more intelligent than you realize. Like, you need to give yourself more credit for how smart you are. It's interesting. These 2 people look very similar. You are this Magician riding the eagle. I wonder if eagle is like a spirit animal for this group. I think just in general, you are more influential than you realize as well. And you may end up, like, whatever profession or position you end up in, you may end up being like a highly influential person. Some of you may even be an influencer as your career, but you could be influencing the public's tastes, the public's opinions, or just in the field that you're in, your approach and your workflow and your philosophy might influence others around you. And that's something, a truth that you might not see. And in fact, I think there's already a lot of people who are inspired by you and who emulate you, and you don't realize that, or you don't accept that because you are humble. I almost said you are too humble. It's just, that's how it came through. But for example, maybe you I don't know, let's say you make clothes, okay? And you make a very distinct style, like it's very colorful, and then you start to see other people around you starting to wear colorful clothes. Now you are so humble, and so you might say like, oh, I guess that's just become the trend now, or I guess it's just a coincidence. And it's like, no, honey, they're copying you. Like they like what you're doing and they're mimicking it. They are inspired by you. And so I don't know if there's just like a part of you that, well, you don't want to assume that, or maybe even for some of you, it's like you couldn't fathom that someone would be copying you or be inspired by you, but like, no, that is what is going on. And I think you just have secret admirers, maybe secret fans, or just people that are not like very vocal about their support and admiration for you and are just kind of supporting you on the sidelines. And so it makes sense that you wouldn't see it. Also, on that note, sorry, there's a lot coming through. That's the Mercury energy of the Magician. Something just came through that people from your past may, not in a creepy way, but they may watch you from afar, like on social media or something, and they are very impressed by you, or they find what you're doing is very cool, but they don't necessarily like comment on your stuff or tell you that, because maybe you're not really, you know how you sometimes you just like randomly follow people from high school still, and you don't really engage with each other's posts, but it's like there's someone or multiple people like that from your past who, like, they're looking at what you're doing and they're like, wow, so that's what group number 3's up to. Like, that's so cool. There's a lot of people who are very impressed by you that you don't realize, because they're not necessarily like forthcoming about it, but just know that you are impressive and you are influential and you are inspirational. Even, you know, people might, and this is kind of dramatic, but people might even make life choices and make changes in their life because they're inspired by what you're doing, or they're inspired by something that you said, and you just don't know that yet. So that's you as the Magician. If you do your own readings, get readings done, watch readings, I would say to look out for the Magician, because I think it represents you. It represents like a very aligned and authentic version of you. Also, there's something about like you're a very powerful speaker, or you're very articulate, you explain things very well, or you have a beautiful voice, talking voice or singing voice, and you might not see that about yourself. The universe maybe wants you to use your voice more, and and this might be opportunities that you're not seeing yet, but you may be invited to speak somewhere, like at an event or to a class or on a podcast, or, you know, you may be asked to formally give your opinion on something or review something. It's like people want your words, people want your thoughts. People want to see what is going on in that majestic mind of yours. Then we have the 5 of Thunder, which is the 5 of Swords, and the 5 of Cups, which is the 5 of Cups. And I mean, all the 5s are pretty challenging, aren't they? But these ones have to do with like mental and emotional challenges. A truth that you're not seeing. Aw. This is like your head is sad and your heart is sad because there may be some division, and they're not really enemies, you know. Your head and your heart want to work together, and at the end of the day, they do want the same thing. They want you to be happy. And maybe the truth that you don't see is that, or the truth that your head doesn't see and the truth that your heart doesn't see is that they actually want the same things, and they're on the same page more often than not, and they don't have to be opposites of each other. They don't have to exclude each other. They don't have to fight each other. They actually have the common ground, which is wanting to make you happy. And I think that they can hear each other out. And I think we do sometimes kind of perpetuate that, like, oh, my head says this, but my heart says that. My head versus my heart. And maybe a little bit of that is within you as well. But they're trying to work together and they want to work together, and it may be easier than you think for them to accommodate each other. Also, something that you might not see, and this has to do with other people, is that if you had a conflict with someone, if you got into a fight, or if you like had a breakup, whether that's romantic, platonic, family, if you separated from someone, they are actually feeling worse about it than they let on, and they miss you more than they let on. So they're not really showing you that. So there could be like an ex-partner or an ex-friend who really, really misses you, but they don't. I think a lot of the things you don't see is because people don't tell you. You know, it's not like, why don't you see it? It's staring you in the face. It's like, no, you don't see it because people are not making it seen. So like, how could you know? Well, you could know intuitively, but yeah, I don't think this person's actually telling you how much they miss you, or like how guilty they feel for what they've done, or how much they're hurting, but they do. Okay, so next we're gonna see another thing you might not see is like, if you had a run-in with someone in the past, or an argument, something blew up with someone, you might not see that you were actually in the right. That's the thing. I feel like this group, you are so humble. So, you know, you don't want to assume, for example, you don't want to assume that people think you're great and that people are emulating you, but they are. And then if you had a disagreement with someone, you don't want to assume that you were in the right, but you are, you know? Because I just hear your guides being like, no, that person was being an asshole to you. What do you mean? Like, no, you were in the right. Okay, what is an opportunity that you don't see? We have the Three of Stones, which is the Three of Pentacles. So looks like a work opportunity, and more specifically, perhaps an opportunity for collaboration. There could also be, because we've been talking a lot about people feel this and that way about you, but they're not saying it. There could be someone who wants to work with you or who wants to collaborate with you, and they're not saying it, but the feeling is mutual. Like, you both want to work together, but you're not saying anything. You both want to create together. There could also be, this is very specific, but if any of you have online friends who you haven't met in person, you may not see it now, or you may not see it coming, that there's going to be an opportunity to meet them in person. It's kind of giving the feeling of you're traveling and you're in a certain city, and then you're talking to your online friend and they're like, what the heck? Like, I'm literally in that city right now. And then you meet up. Or yeah, just getting to meet someone in person whom you haven't met before, but you like would really like to. There's that opportunity is there that you don't see yet. Another very specific thing just came through, but if you have if you follow artists or you have favorite artists, make sure that you have your notifications on for them, because I cannot tell you how many times when I'm in Tokyo, I will find out after the fact that one of my favorite artists was just performing in Tokyo, or like just was in Tokyo, and I'm like, yeah, so make sure you have notifications on for your faves so that you don't miss anything. Because, you know, seeing someone in concert is seeing them in person. So just make sure you know where everyone is. I didn't mean to take 3 cards, but I did, so we're just gonna we're just gonna go with that. We have the Three of Stones. Oh, yeah, that makes so much sense. Like, Emperor, he's independent, he does it on his own. 10 of Wands, he gets burnt out. Like, that's literally so straightforward. And it's funny because with the Emperor, there can be a bit of stubbornness. This sea lion, he's like just like plumped on the ground. It looks, I don't know, it looks stubborn to me. The number 4 feels kind of stubborn. This is someone who's like, no, I can do it by myself. And then they get overwhelmed and they burn out. So there's an opportunity that maybe you don't see now to get help or collaboration in your projects and to not burn out, which is very specific. Yeah, I actually think it's so straightforward that I don't really need to, what is the word? I don't need to break it down. Okay, so finally we're gonna see what is a sign that you are not seeing and who is the sign from. We have the Hierophant and we have the Nine of Wands. So this is a sign from your higher self, and this Hierophant card is very cute. So let's talk about this. I'm actually going to break down this image quite a bit, I think. First of all, I love that these two birds look pretty much the same, because this tells me that your human self and your soul are on a very similar frequency right now. Same energy, same personality, same motivations. Like, you are really in harmony with your higher self right now. You're the same, but your higher self just has a bit more of a bird's eye view, no pun intended, a bit of a higher perspective. They can see a bit farther over the horizon, so they can help you out with guiding your next steps. But they're not like above you or better than you. I think your higher self is really humble too, and you have a beautiful relationship with them. And the other thing I'm noticing is that in a traditional Hierophant card, you would have that like wise authority figure up here who knows everything and is can tell you what to do, and then you have the two people at the bottom who are like, you know, submitting to the Hierophant or taking the Hierophant's orders or something. And in this card, we only have two beings. Like, it's just you and your higher self. There is no like overlord, there is no boss, there is no one who can tell you better what to do. You are the wise one. You are the one with the authority. It's you and your higher self. For some reason, that feels so, it feels so funny to me because, and I'm laughing with you, by the way, because I just feel like your soul group, you all are like, you have a great sense of humor, and it's like you and your higher self are out here unsupervised, just like doing whatever you want to do. And your like soul teachers and soul group is like, oh, here they go. It's really sweet. But yeah, like, as long as you and your higher self are on the same page, go for it, do it. Like, you don't need to wait for the okay from any higher being, or, you know, no other being can like tell you what to do or rule over you. That's just not how souls work. We want to explore freely so that the universe can understand itself and the universe can expand. And I often think that we tend to project the hierarchies that we have here onto the soul world. Like, yes, there are older and younger souls or more or less advanced souls, but it doesn't have that same connotation as earthly hierarchies do, where it's like, because I'm older than you, you must do what I say, or I'm more worthy of respect, or I'm better than you, I'm above you. It doesn't have that same connotation. And you might, because of how it is on earth, well, we in general, we might sometimes feel like our guides are gonna treat us like that, or spirit is gonna treat us like that, but it's not really like that. So it's just you and your higher self, baby. And did I already say that? Anyway, the sign is coming from your higher self, and there's something that they're telling you not to give up on, because you've come so far already, and you may actually be closer than you think. Reaching your goal is closer than you think. You may be about to experience a breakthrough in one of your personal goals. And this may be something that you have written down. If you have a manifesting journal, if you set monthly goals, if you set yearly goals, you may want to check them and see if there's any that you've been kind of losing motivation, or you're like ready to give up because it just doesn't seem like it's working. Your higher self is saying, no, don't give up. Like, you are so close. You are about to experience a breakthrough like you don't even realize. And then there may even be, I think it happens so abruptly that your brain is kind of like, wait, that's it? That was the goal? Like, I just did that? It's like, for example, have you heard of, it's like a popular game in Japan. It's called the watermelon game, and it's very hard. Took me months to make a watermelon. My friend downloads it, gets the watermelon in the same day, which I'm still mad about. But anyway, it's like, the goal of the game is to make a watermelon, okay? And to me, it seemed like this distant goal. Someday in my future, maybe when I'm 10 years. And then one day I got the watermelon, and like, I wasn't expecting it at all, because in my head I'm just like, oh, another day, another failure, like it's gonna be the same shit again. And then when I got it, I was happy for like, ah! and then I was like, oh, that, like, this is what I was hyping up, this is what I was putting on a pedestal. Okay, cool. So like, it just goes to show that the goal was more in your reach than you think. And it didn't have to be so hard, and it didn't have to be so heavy. I guess I don't mean to say that your goal is not important or that it's not going to matter to you, but it's like, oh, this was the thing that I was stressing myself out about. Like, yeah, it's, you know what it is? It's that you had underestimated yourself and hyped up this goal that it's going to be so hard and I'm not going to get it. And then you just do it. And I think this is less about your goal wasn't important, and it's more like, yeah, like, that's how powerful you are. That's how strong you are. That's how smart you are. That's how gifted you are. Now, will you stop underestimating yourself and then falling into the illusion that your goals are too big for you? What the heck? Like, that's what your higher self is trying to tell you. Maybe the goal is too small. I don't know. It's like, your higher self is like, why are you surprised that you achieved this? What do you mean? Like, do you know you? Let's go for something bigger. Come on, I'm bored up here. Like, that's kind of the vibe of your soul. Yeah, so for the last part of this reading, we're gonna get some, oh, these birds just look so funny. I don't know, I'm so tickled by them. I am sure this group, you have such a joyful and bright sense of humor and just so charming. Messages from group number 3's spiritual team. We have winter, rest and recuperate. And grow. Take inspired action. Yeah, these two cards definitely make a nice message together. Like, when it's time to take action, you will feel inspired to. And in the meantime, it's okay. It's okay to slow down. It's okay to rest and recharge. It's a very simple message, but I think it's one that we often forget. And I'm also noticing the first two oracle cards is 327 and the second two is 329, which seems like dates to me. March 27, March 29. So I wonder if those dates will end up being important, or someone born on those dates, or something that happened previously on those dates. I also think there's a message here that rest is also a part of your growth. 38, as I say that. I think sometimes we think of it as like there's a period of growth and then there's a period of rest. And there's a period of growth and there's a period of rest. But in rest is a part of the growth process. So it's not like growth stops when you're resting. If you think of, I'm thinking of like a teenager who's going through a growth spurt. Their body's probably doing a lot when they're resting and using all the nutrients, and their brain's probably making new pathways while they're resting. I mean, all of our brains do that while we're sleeping. It's, you know, it's just, I guess, erroneous to look at it as in like you're either growing or you're resting. No, you are growing while resting. And so I think if you are one of the many of us who unfortunately have like guilty feelings surrounding rest, remember that it is productive and it is important, and you can feel good about yourself while you're doing it. You know, I think your spiritual team maybe wants you to get to a place where if you are resting, you're not like, okay, I guess I'll rest now. I guess it's okay if I rest. I guess I can allow myself to rest, as if you are like, as if you're granting yourself this permission, like I will have mercy on you and let you rest. And to rest more enthusiastically, being like, hell yeah, I'm doing something really good for myself right now, and actually like feel positively about it. And Molly is singing upstairs now, so she agrees with me. Right, Momo? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so group number 3s, not group number 1s, group number 3s. These are all the messages that I'm seeing for you, so I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. Thank you so much to Tarot Stack for collaborating with me on another seasonal bundle. I really love this one. And thank you so much to the creators of these gorgeous decks. I'm going to have the bundle linked down below. I'm also going to have the individual decks linked down below if there's one in particular that you are feeling called to. Remember that you can see every card in the deck on Tarot Stack's website. And you can also get a 10% discount on the bundle using the code KINO. I hope you guys have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoyed my content and you like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch tons of timeless, exclusive pick a card readings just like this one, and you can also decide on topics for future readings. I will link my music channel, which includes the intro video of this song, intro song of this video. Can I blame retrograde for that? Yeah, anyway, it's the, you know, at the intro that's on my music channel. And also my latest release will be linked down below, and finally my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. And thank you so much, Molly, for providing your beautiful tunes. And thank you guys so much for supporting me and my channel and anything I do. I really, really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, to anyone who appeared in this reading, directly or indirectly. I'm sending love to your fans and to your haters who are just fans in disguise. And I'm sending love to your higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. You know what I just realized though, because we were talking about how an eagle might be an important spirit animal for you, and then the animals representing you and your higher self are also birds, and then Molly was singing. So I do wonder if this group has a special connection to birds. Birds could be delivering you signs, or the spirit animal of a bird is helping you. I wonder if this guidebook says what kind of bird the Hierophant is. It just says seabirds, but yeah, seabirds could be. I mean, Molly's not a seabird, but neither is an eagle, I think. But okay, so I think it's just, oh wait, it says the red-faced cormorant, attentive and alert in the sunlight. Yeah. Red-faced cormorant. I'm sorry, this went completely off the rails, but anyway, thank you. Thank you so much for being here. I am sending you so much love, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hi, number 4s. So if you guys chose the pink cactus, this is going to be your reading all about what you are not seeing. This is everything that we're going to be covering in the reading today. So we're going to start with a little energy check where we see your current energy as well as the energy surrounding you right now. Then we're going to dive into the what you're not seeing part. So we are going to see a truth you're not seeing, an opportunity you're not seeing, and a sign that you're not seeing and who that sign is from. And then at the end of the reading, we are going to get some messages and advice from your spiritual team. So that is the reading for today. Thank you so much for watching. At the beginning of this reading and also at the very end, we're going to pull some cards from the Bloom Oracle deck. And then throughout the reading, we are going to be using the Gentle Tarot. And these two decks are the KINO Tarot Spring Bundle, which I have curated in collaboration with Tarot Stack. Every season, Tarot Stack and I team up to put together a tarot deck and oracle deck bundle. And I'm so excited for this one. It is absolutely beautiful and it's nature themed. It is just perfect for spring. If you guys haven't heard of Tarot Stack before, they are an online shop that features a huge selection of indie tarot and oracle decks. So you can browse decks from all different creators and different styles, all in one place. And Tarot Stack is an active supporter of our community, with 50% of their profits going towards funding new indie tarot and oracle deck projects. So they help independent deck creators realize their projects and get their decks out there into the world, which I really, really appreciate. I have discovered so many amazing decks and amazing creators thanks to Tarot Stack, these ones included. So I'm gonna have this bundle link down below. I'm also going to link each deck individually if there's one in particular that you feel called to. You can look at every single card in the deck on Tarot Stack's website, and you can also look at my own personal insights and comments on the decks and how to use the bundle and all of that kind of stuff. And if you do feel called to the bundle, you can get a 10% discount using the code KINO. So thank you so much to Tarot Stack for collaborating with me. And now let's get into your reading. So starting with the Bloom Oracle, we are going to see what is going on in your current energy. Group number 4's current energy. Okay, we are starting off with unfurl. Have you met all of yourself? And we have humility, detached from ego. Interesting how these two go together. So it definitely looks like my group number 4s. You are currently in an energy of self-discovery, of meeting all of the parts of yourself, the light and the shadow, and integrating all parts of you. And so with this card next to it, the message detached from ego, it does look like perhaps certain parts of you have been blocked off by your ego for whatever reason, and it could be for many different reasons. It's like your ego, there's certain parts of you that your ego might not want you to see, that it doesn't want to identify with. I think probably the biggest reason is like certain parts that you have been directly or indirectly shamed for at some point in your life. And so your ego is like, nope, we're not touching that, because a big goal of the ego is to preserve itself. And so it often seeks for ways in which it can be accepted for survival. And so parts of you that had kind of been suppressed, locked away, I feel like you are reclaiming those and you're looking at them in a new light. I think it's really interesting. I've been paying attention a lot to the numbers that are coming out in this oracle deck. It's interesting that we have the number 12 because that's the number of the Hanged Man, and that card is all about looking at things from a new perspective. So I feel that not only will there be, you're going to be meeting parts of you that maybe you didn't know were there, talents you didn't know were there, passions you didn't know were there, needs you didn't know were there, strengths and maybe weaknesses too that you didn't know were there. But I also feel like you are getting reacquainted with certain parts of yourself, but you're looking at it from a different perspective now. And you're seeing it in a new light where, oh, I never really had to hide this away. This was actually a really beautiful strength, but for some reason I felt ashamed of it. And your perspective has maybe changed because you've gotten older, or because you are in a different environment, or you're surrounded with different people who value different things. But all of these influences on you have allowed you to now go back to these parts of yourself and see the positive in them, and see how you can utilize them, and see that you don't have to hide them away anymore. So this is really beautiful. And even the number 30, if you reduce that numerologically, it's a number 3. And so that's the number of the Empress, which is like, I feel like in this case, it's representing your journey to unconditionally loving and accepting yourself. So I kind of want to, okay, let's read this one. Let's read Unfurl from the guidebook. Have you met all of yourself? Like unfolding fronds of a sleepy fern, unfurl your potential. There is magic lurking in the depths of you that can change the world. Have you met it yet? Have you fully met yourself yet? All of you? Step into your full self, your full realized power. This card reminds you to go outside your comfort zone in the name of growth. Unfurling can be terrifying, for you are allowing others to see the deepest, most vulnerable parts of you. But those parts are also the most powerful. This is where real magic happens, in the unfurling. A couple things came to my mind as I'm reading this passage. One of them is, oh no, okay, I remember one of them. I might need to jog my memory by reading it again, but one of them is that some of you guys might be breaking out of this pattern where it's like you carry this assumption that no one could really know you, or no one could really understand you. Or they think they know me, but they don't know the real me. But that may actually be because you don't show the real you. And so it's like, how could you know if this person loves you for who you are? Or how could you know that they truly understand you if you are not showing your authentic self? Okay, I just took a moment to remember it. The other thing that I wanted to say, the other message that came through, was that some of you at the time of watching this may be avoiding this process of self-discovery through distraction. So a big part of this self-discovery and, meeting the parts of you that want to be expressed now, I think would require just spending time alone with yourself, like spending time in your own company and being alone with your thoughts. And some of you at this time may be kind of running from that by, for example, always always having some content playing in the background, or always watching something, or just always keeping yourself busy in some way. And at the root of that might be like, I don't want to be left alone with my thoughts because I don't know what's going to come up. But that process is very important for finding the gold, for finding the magic that is hiding inside of you. So this may be a sign that it's time to, even the Hanged Man, he's just hanging there. He's just vibing. And yeah, in order to reach this point where you can find that magic in you, look at your strengths with a fresh set of eyes, and like that passage said, change the world with it. I think it does require some solitude and like uninterrupted quiet that some of you may be avoiding. So let's get into the tarot now and see what the energies are surrounding you at this time. What are the energies surrounding group number 4? Oh my gosh, it's the hanging woman. I'm just gonna cover her because I'm not sure what YouTube will allow, but literally we've been talking about the Hanged Man because of the number 12, and then the Hanged Man comes out. And then we have the 3 of Cups. Okay. It's interesting that we had the Hanged Man in your energy, and we also have it in the external energy that is surrounding you. I feel like there is a stillness inside of you, or we're not really moving forward right now. And the key to moving forward is meeting all of yourself. This is a message for those of you who are feeling stuck or stagnant in life. And with the Hanging Woman coming out as an external energy, I do think that maybe many of you who chose this group are kind of at a standstill in your life, where either you know what you want to do, but it's just not moving forward, or you're not moving forward because of a lack of clarity in what you want to do. You may be feeling that life is a bit like it's kind of the same thing over and over. Repetitive is maybe the word I'm looking for. Monotonous. You may feel like life is kind of getting like that. And I think that it's not that you're stuck, or it's not that you're blocked or something like that, but the key to moving forward is inside of you, and I feel like that's kind of the last place you're looking. There was that message of maybe trying to keep yourself distracted, or unconsciously keeping yourself distracted as a way to avoid being alone with your thoughts. And I also think that maybe looking for external things to get you unstuck, maybe consciously or subconsciously, a way of avoiding the internal work that needs to be done so that you can get out of this rut and move forward. The reasons for this rut, I think they come from within, and then your external world is just responding to that. And if things start moving inside of you, then things will start moving in your external life as well. So going within is the key to finding what your next steps are, or gaining the courage, the strength, the clarity to go forward with them. We also have the 3 of Cups here as an energy that is surrounding you. I do feel that the universe is inviting you to be more playful and more lighthearted about things. And I know that inner work, and especially if you're doing shadow work, that can be really heavy stuff, but it's almost as if the fear, there's a message about taking it too seriously, which sounds weird for me to say because, again, like inner work is a heavy thing, but this is what it feels like. Someone who is afraid to do shadow work because they're like, what if I go within and I find a weakness? What if I go within and I find a character flaw? What if I go in and I find an imperfection? And that they take that fear so seriously and it's really weighing on them. Whereas it's possible to look at it in a way of like, of course I'm going to find that, because every human has that and it's okay. It's like there's a part of you that maybe wants to punish you for what you find when you go and look in the shadows. And I wonder if this comes from being in a strict environment for a lot of your life and having a dynamic where you were like rewarded for being good and punished for being bad, rather than being like nurtured and taught and guided. It was just like punishment. And that might be something that you're perpetuating now. And it's like, you, rather than just being curious about what your shadow is and knowing that it doesn't make you a bad person, because literally everybody has a shadow, and the stuff that is in our shadow is not even inherently bad. It's just stuff that has probably been shamed or not accepted and that we've hidden away. So, you know, yes, it is kind of scary to dive in and do that work, but there is an element of it's not that serious. And I don't mean it in a way to belittle your experience, but I mean that you're not in trouble, or it's not the end of the world if you have some darkness in you. I think when I get the message of taking something too seriously, I think that's more what it is referring to. Like, I'm kind of being shown someone who has some wrong answers on a test and they're really, really distressed about it, and an adult being like, it's okay. Everybody makes mistakes. It's very normal. There's something that I feel like maybe you're scared to find because you put a lot of weight on it, and it's like, it's very okay. Like, you know, it sounds very cliche, but making mistakes is how we learn. And I think we recognize that at school and like when we're learning skills, but it's the same thing with maturity. It's the same thing with emotional growth. It's the same thing with relationships and whatever, even the deepest, darkest, gnarliest thing that you could find inside yourself is very normal. It's very normal. There is nothing wrong with you. It's nothing that we haven't seen before. So I think that's what I mean when I say it's not that serious. It's not like an invalidating or a belittling thing. It's like, it's okay. You don't have to be so scared. You don't have to beat yourself up that much for it. So yeah, I think it's that kind of message. And if you can, because this also talks about friendships, you don't have to do this all alone. You know, if you go into the shadows and you find something heavy and you find something scary, you can talk about it to people, you can share it, or maybe this is here because the universe wants to offer you a lot of experiences and opportunities to see that what you're going through is not as unrelatable as you think. It's not as unique as you think, and it's not as bad as you think. There might even be something that you judge yourself for, like, I can't believe I do that. I can't believe I think that way. That's so bad. And it's actually a normal thing that a lot of people experience, and it doesn't make you a bad person, and it doesn't mean that you have to, like intrusive thoughts, for example. Just because you had an intrusive thought, it doesn't mean that's you. It doesn't mean that you act on it or that you necessarily agree with it. It's just an intrusive thought. And if having those thoughts make you a bad person, then everyone is a bad person. So it's the universe wants you to know whatever you're afraid of, you are not alone in it, and wants to give you courage to go on this inward journey. Okay, we are going to get into the tarot now. And is the what are you not seeing part. So, okay, we're going to start with a truth that you are not seeing. And we have the Devil. And the Nine of Thunder, which is the Nine of Swords. I think a big truth that you're not seeing is that everything is going to be okay, and that you're good enough as you are, and that you're worthy of love and you're worthy of all the good things. It's so interesting how these two cards came out, because the Nine of Swords represents someone who has anxious thoughts, negative thoughts, and kind of expects the worst. And just the way it came out, it kind of looks like the way they're leaning forward, it's like the Devil is pulling them. And it feels like something that has control over your mind and that has control over your thoughts and is kind of causing illusions about who you are. It's strange. It's like, I think this group, you might view yourself, it's like you're a much better person than you might realize, and you're much more lovable and kind and empathetic than you realize. It's a truth that you don't see about yourself. I think this is a group that is very hard on themselves, judges themselves very harshly for things that are normal. And when I say normal, it doesn't mean that, like, for example, if you caught a cold, that's normal. But that doesn't mean you want to keep having the cold. But, like, having a cold is bad, but it's not a moral failure. It's that kind of thing. It's like beating yourself up for struggles or imperfections that are very normal. And you can improve them. You can improve them without judging yourself. Another example would be like someone who went through a physical transformation and they're more fit now. And it's like, yeah, I love myself before and I love myself now. And just because I did something that improved the quality of my life and improved my self-image, like, improvement doesn't necessarily mean it was bad before or it was unacceptable before. And there's maybe a part of you that views it that way, and there's maybe your ego is motivated by punishment or shame. So it's maybe hard to focus on personal growth without being like, the current version of me is bad and I have to evolve into this other better version. I hope that what I'm saying makes sense, but I think what you're not seeing is how you are just as lovable and worthy as everyone else. There's nothing inherently like unlovable or bad or wrong about you, and your struggles are very relatable and very common, and the times that you have moments of weakness or, you know, it's very human, I think. It's very human. Maybe something you're not seeing is that you're a human. You are not a perfect machine. You are not a perfect doll. You are an organic, living, breathing, complex, messy human. And we all are. And you're not alone in that. And this is happening quite a bit, where I feel like there was something I wanted to say and then it escapes me, which I wonder if there's some like brain fog or issues with memory from this group. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but yeah. And I think the other truth that you may not see is that you can, it's funny, it's like, I think, of course, it's like you grasp these concepts, but then your ego says, except you, like, it doesn't apply to you. Like, we're all lovable and we're all beautiful, but not me, or something like that. And it's like this weird thing where maybe you feel isolated or like you are some kind of exception. But the other thing I wanted to say is that you can grow and improve by being fed love. You don't grow and improve by being fed shame and punishment. You grow and improve by being fed love and encouragement. You can't, and I don't think this is my quote, but you can't hate yourself into a version of you that you love. What is an opportunity that group number 4 is not seeing? We have the Empress, which we were talking about before. Unconditional love and acceptance of yourself and taking care of yourself and nurturing yourself. Just the way these are coming out, it's like the devil is pulling this poor person, which is like all the negative thoughts, the intrusive thoughts, the anxiety, the limiting beliefs, societal conditioning, just pulling them in this direction. And then there's this beautiful, look at this, he's like the birds and the butterflies. It's this beautiful, gentle energy. And this is your spiritual team. This is your guides. This is your higher self. They're just standing behind you, just waiting for you to turn around. Like, I really think this journey to self-love and self-acceptance, you're really so close. And I know that it might not feel that way, but you're so close to achieving the mindset and the emotional state that you want to be in. It's literally a matter of just turning your head to the other direction. It's not like you have to turn around and run 100 miles to get back to the place of self-love. It is literally always right there inside of you. It is always available. Getting into, as someone who's very, very anxious and hard on myself too, it's always there. We don't see it sometimes. It feels far away sometimes, but the universe is literally love, and you are the universe. So by extension, that place of unconditional love, it's always inside of you, and you cannot be devoid of it. It cannot be any other way. It is you. It is inside of you. And so it's really just like flipping a switch, going from looking on the outside to looking within. It's always there. And that is what makes us all equally lovable and worthy of love, because we are love itself. And you are just like everyone else in that you have this inside of you. And you always have the opportunity to align with it and to reconnect with it by just getting out of your head. And yeah, this is very easy for me to say because of course there are mental blockages there, but it is always available and it is always there. That feeling that everything is going to be okay. And I'm sure you have felt it many times. What is an opportunity that group number 4 is not seeing? We have the 10 of Cups. This is like the happiest card in the tarot, and it is being completely content, satisfied, emotionally fulfilled. There's a lot of love in both of these cards, and this is like your dream life, your happily ever after, getting to wake up every day and just love and be loved. It's like the 10 of Cups is like, what more could you ask for? And so I think what you don't see is that this future is possible for you, and that you are actually on the way to it. If you're feeling particularly heavy, like if your energy is feeling particularly heavy recently, or you find old negative thought patterns resurfacing, or old limiting beliefs resurfacing, or old insecurities, heartbreaks, they might actually be resurfacing because they are on their way out. Because I just feel like you're closer to this than you think. It's like just one last adjustment that needs to be made. And this is making me think of, I saw the eclipse the other day. Most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I'll never forget it. I was in totality, so I saw it when the sky was completely black and there was just a ring. But it's so insane how bright the sun is, because yes, when it's in totality, it is completely dark. But the second the moon shifts like 1 degree that way, suddenly the whole sky is bright again. Like, you only need one tiny sliver of sunshine to make the whole sky bright again. And it's like automatic. It goes dark for a couple minutes and then it's bright again. And I actually thought about it. Imagine if you were an ancient human and it's your first time seeing this happen and the sky goes dark and the sun is gone. You would probably not think it's going to come back and you would be freaking out. But it only lasts a few minutes and then the sky is light again. So, you know, if this is your light inside of you and there's some negative thoughts and if there's some darkness obscuring it, it really only takes it moving just this much to flood everything with light again. And I think that's what you don't see. So, and when you're in that dark place, much like an ancient person might see a total eclipse and think that, oh, the sun is gone. The sky's dark now. Where did the sun go? It's still right there. It's still right there. And that's the same with your light. So if you're in a heavy place and you feel like it's going to be this way forever, it's not. The moon just has to move like 1 degree. I think it will take something small and then that will snowball, and you're closer to this than you think. That's what I can say. I'm also thinking about, this is kind of personal, but I mean, it's back when I was a teenager, but I was like really, really struggling for like a year with some mental stuff. And it literally took one text message from my friend and just, yeah, it was crazy. You never know how things can turn around. What is a sign that my group number 4s are not seeing? And who is the sign from? We have the Hierophant. This is the exact same card as group number 3 in the exact same position. And the Ace of Stones, which is the Ace of Pentacles. So for the Hierophant, this would be your higher self, but I actually remember I checked the guidebook when this came out for group number 3 because I wanted to know what kind of bird it was, and I do believe it had some messages about elder generations, so your ancestors could be sending you signs as well. So yeah, these are red-faced cormorants, as we learned in the last group. Seabirds are ancient. The wisdom in their movement and in their eyes is older than the millennia countable on our fingertips. Here we observe the red-faced cormorant, attentive and alert in the sunlight. Only until we honor our ancients can we truly know who we are and pursue a life we love. This card guides us to dig deeper, connect, and embrace the wisdom of the ages that is dormant within us. This potent card asks us to remember our worth by studying or reconnecting with our past. Who has contributed to who you are, both physically in this life and before you arrived? Wow. So this is, yeah, it's your higher self, it's your ancestors. it's passed on loved ones. It's your lineage that is sending you signs. And this image looks really so beautiful because I imagine this as like the hand of your ancestor and they're passing on the world to you. I wonder if connecting to your ancestry or connecting to your heritage or learning about your relatives, learning about your passed on loved ones, that could be something that's really helpful in this self-love journey. And I'm remembering something that one of my best friends posted that was really beautiful. That was, I don't know if it was original post or a repost, it doesn't matter. But basically the sentiment was that we often talk about inheriting trauma and struggle, like generational trauma, but we should talk more about the strengths that we inherit from our ancestors, the courage, the gifts, the beauty, the wisdom. Like we inherit a lot of good and a lot of beautiful things as well. And I think just learning more about what you came from and those wise souls that live still inside of you and that are a part of you. I'm thinking about The Lion King now with like Mufasa in the sky. I wonder if that movie is significant to you, but it's like, it's an emotional scene and just I think there's something with this group of feeling isolated and the universe wants to help you see just how connected you are. And disconnection really is an illusion because you're part of everything. And oh man, it's happening again where I wanted to say something and I can't remember what it is. But yes, I think connecting to your ancestors, connecting to your lineage could really help with self-love. Oh yes, this is what I wanted to say. So one of my other best friends is Jamaican, and she was telling me that they kind of say something in, so like for example, my mother's name is Anna. So if I got mistreated or something, people would be like, can you believe that? Anna's daughter. Like you call yourself so-and-so's daughter or so-and-so's son. If there are any Jamaican people watching, please feel free to correct me if I told it a little bit wrong. But it was something to that effect. And it's kind of beautiful in a way, like framing it in that way. It's like, it's someone's child. It's so precious. And like, you are someone's child. You are someone's great grandchild. And your ancestors struggled to create this world for you and to assure that you would exist. Like they fought so hard for you to exist. That is how precious you are. And like, I don't know about you guys, but if I'm like, someone was rude to Carrie, I'm like, okay, someone was rude to Anna's daughter? No, absolutely not. Like, don't disrespect Anna's daughter like that. Just, I don't know, it's weird. But anyway, I think you are receiving signs from your family tree who love you so much and who are watching over you and are literally right there over your shoulder. I think it's interesting how they're coming up behind you here, they're coming up behind you here. If you feel the presence of an ancestor or a passed on loved one, you might kind of feel them standing behind you, almost as if they are protecting you, looking over you, watching over your shoulder. You may feel, sometimes I feel like an energetic hug or an energetic hand holding. You might feel something on your shoulders, like an energetic back rub or something like that. And I do think that they show you signs in the material world because Ace of Pentacles is very much a material energy. The Hierophant being ruled by the sign of Taurus, that also talks about the physical world. And we also literally have a world here. So you probably get signs through things that you see, like certain objects might have a significance, or certain parts of nature or certain animals may actually be your ancestors talking to you. They might talk to you through nature. For example, if you are walking down the street and you see flowers, or you're thinking about something, and then all of a sudden the sun comes out from behind the clouds and warms you up, or you hear some birds singing, or things like that, I think are signs. And I also think that your ancestors are helping you with material abundance. And so something else that you might not see is that there's big abundance, like especially money, that is coming your way. That's something that they would like you to have and would like you to enjoy. Okay, so for the last part of this reading, we're going to get a couple more cards from the Bloom Oracle. To get messages from your spiritual team. Cactus. I was wondering if this card was going to come out because today's reading is a pick a cactus. So group number 4, you are the lucky ones who got the cactus card. Adapt and thrive. And unity. We are all in this together. What a perfect last card to show that you are really, really not alone. I'm noticing these. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. 429. I was thinking it could be the date April 29th, with which, if you're watching this when this video goes up, that is quite soon. It's in a couple of weeks, maybe exactly 2 weeks. But that is the birthday of one of my besties who I quoted in this reading. So kind of cool that that's coming up. And then we have the 3 of Cups, which is about friendship. This may be a time to lean into your existing friendships, or this may be a message from the universe that you are manifesting beautiful friendships. With this adapt and thrive, I sometimes get messages like this for cards that feature something that can exist in harsh conditions. Like, cactuses, they can go cacti, they can go a long time without water. Camels can go a long time without water. Albatrosses, which I have learned from using oracle cards. But I think the message for this group is, this is what our personality does as we go through life. It adapts in order to survive. So we might break off certain pieces of our personality and throw it away in order to survive, or we might suppress our needs because they're not getting met. And so if we acknowledge that need, it's going to be very painful and awful. So we're just going to numb that need. And that's the way we adapt, which it can be helpful in extreme situations, but not in everyday life. And so I think this group, you do have that ability of adapting and being able to survive even in harsh conditions. But your spiritual team is now helping you to realize that it doesn't mean that you should be living this way. It doesn't mean that you have to be living this way. Just because you can ignore your needs for a long time, that is not advisable. Or just because you can be really strong and endure, that does not mean that, ideally you shouldn't have to do those things. And I feel like it almost feels like this is the core of who you are, and there's certain parts that have to break off just to keep going. And I think maybe a lot of this, because there could be new parts of you that you're discovering. There could be old parts of you that you're reclaiming, but also there could be parts of you that you forgot about because they've been blocked off in some way. I mean, yeah, it is intense. It's intense energy, but I think this is a process of you becoming whole again, which again, the whole version of you, it's always just behind there. It's not like, oh, I have to go back and get this part of me over here and this part of me over there. It's all right there. It's just obscured. Like the sun being obscured by the moon. It's literally right there. It's all connected back to the core. Molly is singing us a song, and she's gotten more vocal during groups 3 and 4. She probably wants to come out now because it's around dinner time. Yeah, I think that these are all the messages for my group number 4s. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I wish you guys all the best. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you are watching. And I want to say thank you once again to Tarot Stack for collaborating. Thank you so much to the creators of these decks. It has been such a joy to use them together. And I just love how beautiful and gentle these messages are. And I hope that it's been helpful. And I'm going to have both of these decks individually linked down below, and I'll also link the bundle if you want to check them out. You can look at every single card in the deck, and remember that you can get a 10% discount off the bundle with the code KINO. And I hope you guys, I'm sending this group so much love because I know this is a tough energy. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my readings and you would like to find me elsewhere, I will have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can get even more videos just like this one, and you can also decide on the topics for future readings. I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video. That is an original song. I will also have my latest release linked down below. And finally, my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, for supporting me, my channel, anything I do. I really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you. Remember that you are lovable. You are inherently lovable. You could never not be lovable or worthy of love, because you are love. And I'm sending love to anyone who appeared in this reading, directly or indirectly, to your higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, your whole entire family tree, into the past generations, into the future generations. And I'm sending love to all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.